Hello, hello everybody, how are we doing? It is Friday and I can see that we've got Thea, obviously. She's always present. She's very up for her duties, you know, very committed. We've also got Danny in the chat as well. Hi Danny, how you doing? Usual start, please make sure lighting and sound is okay. I'm sure you'll tell me if it's not. The wind has just picked up here in the last like 20 minutes or so, but internet connection is good so far. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All's good, thank you, Thea. Really appreciate that. I'm gonna swap my windows over like I normally do, switch everything round so that I can keep a wee eye on the chat. I have been trying to sort of reconfigure things in OBS so that I can see the chat in the OBS window, but it's not doing the doing, so we just have to do with the switchy window situation. And we've got Jan as well. Hi Jan, how you doing? I thought you might be in the car. Are you still? Oh no, wait a minute, it's too early, isn't it? Are you still at work? Oh wait a minute, that means Jan's not here. I don't know what I'm talking about. Pff, obviously lost my marbles. Okay, Thea's dodgy hands are in full force. Can't wait for this. This will be some creative typing from Ms. Saurus. Hey Patty, how you doing? Jan, where? Yeah, I know. It's funny. Well, I tell you what, guys, it's been a week. Holy Moses. Things didn't get any better today either. I was kind of hoping with it being Friday that, you know, we would start to kind of wind down, and I really feel like I'm really needing my weekend this weekend because there's been so much uh, stuff going on. Patty's good, may disappear. Well, that is absolutely okay, Patty. Thea's been closing the holes in the kitchen walls for 5 hours. Oh no. For the rest of you, if you don't know, Thea's having her entire kitchen done out, like ripped out, and you know, literally back to the bare bones, and a new kitchen put in. She's not just doing things for funsies. Oh no, Evie is sick. Oh, what's wrong, Patty? Oh no, we don't like that. What kind of sick? There are varying degrees of sick. I'm very chill on the dog sick front on account of having had like a million dogs. Oh, kennel cough. Oh no. Should she not have been vaccinated for that though? You know, as a rescue, I mean. Oh, if it's kennel cough, that's not good. That's going to be an expensive trip to the vets as well. Strange though. I mean, obviously in Canada, I don't know what the deal is, but if you adopt a dog here, like they're vaccinated for everything. She was throwing up all night. Not necessarily kennel cough. Oh, that's not cool. Patty, is she the kind of dog that eats things off the ground? Like, does she pick things up, or is she not that kind of dog? Like, Pip's a gremlin, she eats stuff. Apparently, there's something going around. Yes, she might. Ugh, she might just have like a bug, but throwing up's yeah, that's like upper stomach issues. Well, you need to keep us posted. I don't think if you're taking her to the vet, I don't think you're gonna. No, she's a sniffer. She's a sniffer, not a gremlin. Yeah, okay. Well, see, Pip's both. Hi, Marilise, how you doing? Yeah, keep us posted, Patty. Yeah, oh, that's not so good. Oh, that's kind of bummed me out a little bit. Oh dear. Anyway, the reason that we are here today obviously didn't have a stream on Wednesday. Thea's asking how things are. For those of you that are in the chat, I know there's only 9 of you. Oh no, 15 of you. Um, for those of you that aren't in the Discord, Mama Gem ended up in hospital last week through accident and emergency. She's not been feeling all that great, and she doesn't have her tonsils. So if she catches a bug, it goes straight down into her chest, and she gets like usually a chest infection or a chesty cough. Maybe she's maybe Evie's coming out in sympathy for her, Patty. But it got progressively worse, and antibiotics didn't do anything for her. And unfortunately, she ended up in accident and emergency after having been to the doctor. And it turns out that it's actually quite serious. Like, she's okay, she's not going to die or anything. But her heart is not working properly. And you know, the heart stuff's serious. Um, she unfortunately is going to have to go for surgery, and it's going to be open heart surgery. So it's a fairly big deal, but in terms of how she is and how stable she is, she's fine. She's home. She's making jokes, so and she's complaining about how bored she is and how like lethargic she feels and she wants to go and do stuff. So you know that that's a good sign with Mama Gem, because she's pretty much like me. She can't sit still for 2 minutes. Um, so that's where we're at. But this has been like a process over the week, and we didn't know what was going on. And obviously, your major fear is, especially because I mean, Mama Gem, yeah, and I'm sure she won't mind me saying this. She's not a spring chicken anymore. But she, she's at an age where stuff happens, and she's not done anything wrong. It's not because of her lifestyle. It's just one of these things. Um, but it's not we were kind of hoping it might be something that could be fixed with some medication, and it can't. So it's been quite a lot to process for her, and also for Papa Gem as well, over the course of the week. So I've just been trying to be supportive. Once I knew that, like, nothing crazy was going to happen, because obviously the fear is that she was going to have a heart attack, and sometimes that doesn't end well. But she's actually okay. Like, she's fine. But she is going to have to go for surgery. So, it's, yes, so this week's been a lot. On top of that, my proper job's just been mental. Like, this week's just been like I, I can't even. I've not had 2 minutes peace, and then to top it all off today, Mr. Jem fell through a roof today. Like, it was his own fault, but I think he's hurt himself. And it doesn't really help because on Wednesday he tripped over Pip going out the door of the house. They basically both tried to go out the door at the same time, and Mr. Jem ended up with like his leg over the top of Pip's back as she was going down the steps. So Mr. Jem went into a very unnatural, like, splits position for a gentleman of 40. Pip was squished underneath, and then he ended up like standing on her front paw as he landed. So she let out this horrendous yelp, and Mr. Jem was in this weird, like, contorted position. And he's like, oh, that peeled something in my back. So now I've got a dog with a grazed paw, and Mr. Jem's not, like, he's not in good shape at all. Like, he's really not. Everything hurts. So I'm just like, Like, it's just been one of those weeks. Oh, good grief. That's the thing though. Like I was telling Mama Jem, I've just been texting her back and forth because she's spending quite a lot of time sleeping and I don't want to disturb her. But she was asking like what was going on, so I was telling her about Pip and Mr. Jem. And like if it wasn't for Pip's like blood curdling squeals and the fact that Mr. Jem was in a really, really weird position, I would have found it really funny because I had like a full view of it. And it's funny now because it really was comical, but at the time I was like, oh my god, and I didn't know who to check first. I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And the dog's like, oh my god. Oh, just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we're still here, we're fine, but I am like, I am so done with this week. It's untrue. Like I really am. Oh, good grief. Yeah, no, don't feel guilty about the falling through the floor thing, Green Hat, and hello, nice to see you, by the way. It was the thing is, right, here's the thing about Mr. Jem. When he's out working, he will do things that he would never ask a member of staff to do, and he will take risks because he thinks everything will be fine. What he kind of like fails to realise a lot of the time is that he's not 20 anymore. He was trying to fix a bit of the roof on the old steading. So this is the area of the farm with the buildings that we don't really use anymore. But in that part, that's where the beaters and the shooters they use it as like a lunchroom. It's only a couple of days a year, so it's not in like permanent use. But there was the roof was like leaking and things, and we're in shooting season now, so. Mr. Jem didn't really want to call a roofer out because it's a long period of time. Like it's very difficult to get one, and then you might be 3 or 4 weeks, blah blah blah. But he thought he would patch the roof um, in the meantime. And he was on the roof and fell through. Thankfully, there's like a mezzanine level in that building, so he didn't fall all the way from the top, like 15 or 20 feet. He only fell like 6 feet. And there was stuff in the mezzanine level that kind of broke his fall. But he said he was quite lucky because he reckons if he'd been a couple of kilos heavier, he might have gone through the mezzanine level as well. I just like I just can't with this. So he is going to be very sore tomorrow. Like he said, he's sore already, but I think tomorrow he's really going to feel it. But he's clearly not broken anything. He's just a bit battered and bruised, and I think his ego's probably taken more of a beating than anything. But yeah, here we are. Here we are. Hello, Terry. How you doing? Ah, good grief. Anyway, it's all fine. We're still here, but I am so ready for the weekend. So my plan is tomorrow morning. I have to do my normal shop run, so go to the post office, and I have got a few bits and pieces to sort out with the Christmas cards. And after that, I'm basically going to like log off for the weekend. Like I'm just going to shut down social media and all like work laptop and everything's gone, and I'm just going to try and like potter about, do a bit of housework. It's to be dry over the weekend. So take the doggos out for a good walk and just kind of like not necessarily chill out, but just take things a little bit easier because I think my brain's gonna fall out my ears if I don't. So yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan. Anyway, let's talk about another plan. Let's talk about today's plan. We did talk a wee bitty in the Discord with a few of you about what we were going to do in this stream, and that's why the title of the stream is what it is. However, in the interests of the sort of spirit of the WIP Wednesdays, WIP Fridays doesn't really have the same ring to it. There's like I am surrounded by stuff. I've got stuff everywhere. So if I just kind of shugle out the way a wee bit here, this is the scrapbook project that I've started, and I've only just started it, so I've got a few bits and pieces. I've got stuff on this side as well that you probably won't be able to see. Oh, you can. washi tapes and stuff, so that's all sitting behind me. I've also got Julia Kay's watercolours, and I mean like all of them. And I've got my watercolour sketchbook here as well. So that's an option. But in addition to that, I still have the ink house sitting out with all the Inktense pencils. That's on like literally on the WIP table, so that's slightly to my left. So I don't know whether you want to do that. And the last thing, and probably the most catastrophic thing that has happened this week, is Mildred fell off her shelf again, and for the third time has now injured herself. So she's missing a leg, and three of her teats have fallen off her udders and her tail, which I have collected in this little Jack Daniel's shot glass. So I kind of need to put her back together as well. And I feel that, you know, we're in the middle of November now. We're almost into festive season and, you know, like KV Christmassy stuff. So I don't know whether you feel the need that we should maybe put her back together. I do find it quite fitting that she keeps like having injuries because she is pretty derpy. But that's a little job that needs done as well. Poor Mildred, I'm sorry. So that yeah, poor Mildred. So that's what we've got. Does anybody have any preferences on what they would like to do today? I am honestly like I am indifferent. I just kind of want to unwind and ease myself into the weekend. Never have other hands been so appropriate. What, because Mildred doesn't have hers? If Mildred had an other hand right now, we would look like this. Well, I can't close my eyes and point, Patty, because everything's like 360 and I know where everything is, so I know what I would be pointing at. Ah. Thea just wants to sit, watch, enjoy chat, and not move too much. I can understand that entirely. Ah, that's really funny. You know, Mildred. I know, Terry. I'm like, she's done so well with her little Santa hat on, bless her. We need to super glue Mildred first, please. That I love people that make decisions. See, this is one of the things about being, and I don't know if any of you experienced this also. In my marriage, we have me, and you guys know my personality, and Mr. Jem is the complete opposite. Like he's really laid back, nothing bothers him. He very rarely gets riled up, and that results in a bit of an imbalance on the decision making. And he feels that by being easygoing, he's making things easy for me when the reality is I have this like mental burden of having to make all the decisions because he's like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Um, I really like when someone makes a direct, decisive decision. I like it a lot. Surgery on Mildred? Okay, right, I need to find some glue then. I do have, in fact, right, let me just pop some of this. I've got stuff everywhere. I have not, just because of all the stuff that's been going on, I've not really like tidied the cave proper. I mean, it's still in order, everything's sensible as you can see, but the U-shaped desk that I've got here, I've not really put stuff away properly because it's just not been a priority. So I do have, now that's craft glue, that's not going to be any use, right? Hang on a minute. I have got some super glue somewhere. Where is it? Not in there. Might be in this little caddy somewhere. Don't have super glue, but I've got some cold sore cream. Needs it. Good grief. Oh, there it is. Yes, I knew it was in here somewhere. Okay, right, let's start with Mildred then. Patty has to make all the decisions, so happy to let others do it. Yeah, it's really nice to take a break from it sometimes. Hi Susan, how you doing? Oh. Hi April. Well, I mean, we could give Mildred some cold sore cream. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but you know. Excuse me. Right, let's change to this view can see what we're doing. Oh, Mildred, I'm so sorry. Look her, she's in a sorry state. We seem to be quite overexposed light-wise here, but my problem is now that it's starting to, like, we've lost the light outside. It is still light, but it's not proper sunlight because we're getting to that time of year. So Mildred's white bits look overly white. The problem with this is as well, I don't know which udder belongs, which teat belongs on which part of her udder, and I'm going to have to figure it out by the shape of the the indents. Man, I always knew they were wonky because we made them wonky deliberately, but that one looks as if it goes on the top. Does it? Oh. Okay, I think that's the top right. Oh, goodness me. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. Poor Mildred. Cow parts feel like it could be the name of an exotic shot. Okay. Right, let's look at these two. This one's kind of longer and skinnier. So I think that might be that one. No, all the way around. Right, that one's there, and then that one belongs there. Okay. Right, this glue is pretty good. If anyone's interested, Loctite, precision. Precision. We need precision right now. My only issue with this is you've got to squeeze quite hard, and I don't have a lot of strength in my bad hand, aka my dominant hand, so I usually have to do like the two-handed squeeze, but that's okay. Okay, right, I think. Oh no. That way. Got to hold it for a couple of seconds. Incorrect teat positioning. This could be interesting. Ah, hey, Ulrika. Oh, I'm really glad you're here, Ulrika, because I've got something to show you specifically, and I thought I would keep it for the stream. But you need to wait until I'm finished doing surgery on old Mildred here. Two-handed squeeze, that's a great name for a cocktail green hat. Hi, MJ, how are you? So nice of you to join us, and thank you for mentioning the hit the like button. I'm not sure that most people would want to hit the like button when I'm reattaching teats to a cow, but yes, thank you. Oh, and here's Nye as well. Nye, you're the other person that I was really hoping would come into the stream. Hello, how are you? I got your email, thank you. I've been waiting to reply to it, and there's a specific reason. I have gotten that information today, so I will email you back tomorrow. Okay, I'm not ignoring you. You missed the start of the stream. I've had a lot of stuff going on this week. But I will email you back tomorrow, okay? I'm really glad that you're here. That's great. No, Mildred, what happened? Well, this is the thing. She seems to be sort of like involuntarily clumsy, which is, as I say, is very fitting because she was always supposed to be a derpy cow. So it's kind of appropriate, but it's getting out of hand now. This is like the third time that I've had to super glue bits back onto her, and none of my other clay models that we've made, like none of them have had things fall off or broken. It's just Mildred. So that kind of tells you all you need to know. Ulrika will be here, though do have to go and take something out of the oven in a couple of minutes. It'll be a bit later on, Ulrika, so as long as you come back, it'll be fine. Not that I'm holding you to or anything. Mildred wants to be a flying cow. Oh, this one's not sticking. Why is this one not sticking? Why is this not sticking? I feel as if I've been holding this one for ages. Is it just me? Had to take the dog out, so just check to see if the stream was going. Yeah, we're here. We're here. Oh, there we go. Look at her little udders. I need to kind of balance her that way. Right, okay. Nearly there. We can do this. Not quite. Oh, is that the right way? Yeah, that's it. Okay, I have to get the orientation right as well, so that obviously the can't do this with two hands. Oh, so that everything kind of like slots back into place. Oh, there we go. That was an effort. It's okay, Mildred, we'll look after you. Oh, we've got a bit of leakage there. Rika's off out this evening as it's mine and my partner's anniversary. Oh, not till 7:30. Okay, yeah, you will definitely be before 7:30. Nipples incorrectly orientated is not good. We had a cow at one point. I mean, it's not like it's not well, it is uncommon, but it's not like a freak of nature thing. But we sometimes get cows with extra nipples that don't do anything, like so they don't actually form into teats, as in there's no mammary connection, but they just have like an extra nipple. And we had a cow at the last farm, and she actually had six altogether, but the back two didn't do anything. They were just there. It's quite out of the ordinary. Get the bucket, we have leakage. Oh, there we go. Better. Okay, right. So I'm thinking I might put her leg on first because if you remember, her tail like kind of like hugs her leg. Like you can actually see the white of her leg there. So this should be relatively easy to put back together and line up. Oh my goodness. And we've got a lovely like big surface area here. So this should be pretty good. Jock is absolutely snoring his head off already. He's making all sorts of noises. It's only been how long have we been in the stream? Not very long at all. Half an hour? Not even. Okay. Right, let's try not to upset our teats while we do this. Oh, there we go. That's it right there. Do 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 do. Any plans beside cow surgery? Yeah, Thea, do you want to explain the options to MJ for me, please? Yeah, we can go painting, we can go scrapbooking, or we can go colouring. That's the oh no, don't move it, Jem. That's the abridged version. And all three are perfectly acceptable to me. I think it's kind of cute that y'all wanted to fix Mildred first, though. There's a phrase for the day. Let's try not to upset her teats. Oh, jeez. It's a sentence we don't use very often. Left to make my morning coffee and come back to Mildred's surgery. Good choice. She needs to be ready for the season. Exactly. I'll see. I feel like a moral obligation. I just wish that it seems to be though like, oh, see if anything's upset slightly in the cave. Like Mildred seems to like be unsteady and fall over at the drop of a hat, and I don't understand because look at that for a base. Like she thick, she wide. There is no reason for her to fall over. She's not like unbalanced. Well, maybe she's mentally unbalanced, but physically she's not. And I don't understand. But see, nothing else seems to get damaged, but it's always her, always her. Right, okay. So we've got enough tack there. Teats are fine. Now we just need to reattach the tail. Need to, like, I'm forgetting to breathe while I'm doing this. Hold it by the very end. No, that's not right. kind of want to glue her tail to her leg, like just for extra-ness. Right, that looks about right, doesn't it? Because that's the flat side, that's the base. Okay. Good grief. This is stressful, guys. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down her leg as well, just so we've got extra stickiness. Right, so it was that way. Be careful where you touch here, Gem. I'd be a terrible surgeon, like actual surgeon. There we go. That's it there. See, I've got the extra support finger on the go here. Maybe you should blue tack her to the shelf to stop her flinging herself off. That's not a terrible idea. You might need a cork or felt on the bottom of the cow to give her more balance. That's a great idea, MG. Love it. Hi, Tracy. Has she got a soggy bottom? No, quite the opposite. Maybe that's the problem. I've got a funny feeling that my finger might be stuck here. I'm not taking it off to find out though in case her tail falls off again. I am gonna have to... I've got to watch the time. I'm not disappearing like permanently or anything. There is a small task that I have to do around 4:30, but it's going to take approximately a minute and a half to do it, so... You're doing well, I've been stuck to her by now. I know I'm okay with stuff like this. I'm sure I've told the story before about my excellent sewing skills. I cannot sew to save my life, and I do not understand why, because I'm a very precise person when it comes to measurements and stuff like that. I just can't sew for toffee. And the one time, being a short person, I only have a 27-inch inside leg. I don't know what that is in centimetres. I have very short legs. And the one time that I tried to take a hem up on a pair of trousers, I inadvertently stitched the trousers to the jeans that I was wearing. And I was in Mum and Papa Jem's house. And I went to hold the trousers up to show Mama Jem how neat my stitching was. And when I did that, I was like a marionette puppet, because when I lifted the trousers, my leg went up as well. And I honestly thought Mama Jem was going to die laughing, because I realised that I'd stitched them to my trousers. That was terrible. Oh, my finger is stuck. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, Mildred, you absolute nightmare. There we go. She's back in one piece. Yeah. So I'm going to set her off to the side, like, really gently. I'll put her somewhere where we can't bump her or like wiggle her about. I maybe put her up on the shelf, actually. That's a good idea. But there we go. She's back to normal. She looks like our usual little derpy self. Good job. Let's pop her up here, like all the way up. Not this shelf along here, but the one that's like higher up, so I absolutely cannot bump her. Oh, up you go, Mildred. Just you stay there and behave yourself. Oh, that would have been impressive if you were doing it with a sewing machine. I think I'd probably have injured myself if that had been the case. Danny says the holidays can officially begin because Mildred's ready. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, so just on the Mildred note, I do have the little packs of Mildred Christmas cards. I'll go and get them just to show you. They're over here. Let's grab one of these as well. Yeah. So in the stash shop, we've got the A5 Christmas cards. So this is my local village design, and the red postbox ones as well. But we've got little baby Mildred cards, so these are A6. So that's them, obviously not folded, which is the same size as one of the big cards. But I'm selling these in packs of 3, so 3 cards with 3 envelopes, and they're bagging. So maybe if you have a little love affair with Mildred like I do, you can buy a little pack of Christmas cards. I think they're great for like work colleagues, or maybe people that you're not particularly close to. Is that just me that has that? But you need to send them a Christmas card. They're great for stuff like that. But they're in the stash shop if you fancy a wee bit of that. They're selling pretty well. Quite happy with that. I'm starting to get into the festive spirit a wee bit. I think I'm kind of ready to jingle my bells this year. Jem has legs. You don't think you've ever seen my legs before? I do, and they work. Quite often, that's it's quite an odd question to get asked, but I suppose as a YouTuber that does like city downy stuff, I suppose it's relevant. But people often ask me what I wear on my feet, as in like, do I sit in my socks or do I wear slippers? When I am in the house, I always have Crocs on. They're you can see how dirty they are. That's because I live on a farm and I go outside in them and I shouldn't. Um, but I wear Crocs like slippers. I wouldn't wear them out anywhere. When I am outside, there's a standing joke that I go from tall boots. I wear boots. They call them lifestyle boots, but they're basically like a riding boot, you know, like a horse riding boot, but not as shiny and fancy. I go from them to flip flops in the summer and then straight back to boots. There's very little in the middle. If I'm feeling fancy, I do like a pair of Adidas Superstars, you know, like old school with the shell toes. But yes, people don't know what I have in my feet because obviously never see my feet. So legs, that makes sense. But yes, I do have legs. I have two of them, and they're getting slimmer as well, which is always nice. Danny says the Mildred print looks so good. One thing I'll say, Danny, the company that I've used for the cards this year, the paper quality or the card quality is amazing. Like I was impressed with it. It's 280 GSM satin, and it feels more like 300 or maybe 320. You guys know I'm really into my paperweights. Really, really happy with it. Highly recommend, obviously. So yes, right, we'll do a quick poll now and we can decide what we want to do. We'll move on to proper arty farty stuff now. As far as I'm concerned, Mildred is arty farty, but I mean like actual stuff. So, um, what are we arting? Um, add an option. Go. Okay, if you can get your votes in, please, ladies and gentlemen, that would be lovely. True riding boots are neither shiny nor fancy, usually covered in here. Well, they start out shiny and fancy and usually extremely overpriced as well. But yeah, mine are more like the rug, you know, like I suppose it would be the country equivalent of off-road tires versus road tires. That's maybe an accurate way to do it. Yeah, they've got better grips on them than riding boots, but they have the structure and um the height of riding boots, and they are usually leather or suede or whatever. Thea says, speaking of Christmas cards, Jem, will there still be some in the shop in about 2 weeks? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm kind of running low on the red post box ones. I think I've maybe got like a dozen of them left, which I'm really surprised at because I thought everyone would want the new one, but apparently not. If you want some put past for you, message me, email me, whatever. I can put some away. Because if you do that, and I am going to run low, I've got time to order more. The delivery time on like a reorder is about a week, so that would be fine. Very, especially if you have fat legs like mine. All about the chonky legs. I'm at peace with myself and the fact that I'm always going to have good thighs. Who said, yeah, just message me, Thea, that's fine, it's not a problem. Oh, everyone wants to, well, not everyone, 62% of you want to paint. Okay, well, that's a good starting point. Have to wait for December money, that's fine, that is no problem. Not a problem. Danny says the story you wrote really makes the postbox card so special. Oh, I just like it because of the colours on it, honestly, because the red really stands out against the, like the really washed out yellow and buckets of indigo that we used. Okay, so painting is taking 62% and colouring and scrapbooking are tied at 19%. I was kind of hoping that one of the other ones would, there would be a pecking order. But we can get some paints out. That is absolutely fine. Let's do that then. Why not? Okay, so let's just do this. So here's the situation for the painting. I have all of Julia's paints, and when I say all of them, I mean all of them. So let me just grab them here. Someone had suggested in the Discord painting with the fire set, which I do believe is in this tin. This is the not organised yet tin. So these are the fire colours here. If I just shove that way, that's the 6 colours there. Obviously we've got some other fancy stuff there. And these ones that I'm sure you know by now, I have got this, what I call the spangly tin. Spangly tin. And then the flat colours tin as well. So we've pretty much, we've pretty much got everything here, but something that I did do recently, Friday night, a week ago, which was when all the Carry On with Mama Jem was going on, I did go out to fireworks display, and I thought maybe we could do something with the fire set, because obviously that fits the theme, but also I have got Julia's like hollow colours. These go really well over dark paint or black paper. I thought we could maybe do like a little fireworks painting, a bonfire in the middle, something like that. Hi, Lou. Eyes on the road, Jan. Green hat's got all the drooly faces, or if you're Scottish, the slavery faces. Like, so shiny, shiny. Right, okay, so let's put this out the way. In the old sea white watercolour journals, these are the ones that I sell in the stash shop. Love this paper, very versatile. Not the best watercolour paper you're ever going to have, but great value for money, and takes a lot of abuse and shoulders it really, really well. So that was kind of my thinking. Had a really good time at the fireworks, by the way. Something that Mr. Jem and I always try and make a point of doing, because it's an easy way for us to get away from the farm. It's not really time consuming, it's not really expensive, but it gives us a wee bit of a jolly. And I did drink some beer on Friday night. I've hardly drank beer at all now, but I quite enjoyed it. Oh, right, just gonna grab some fresh water. I need to get some rags. Green hat, brace yourself, you might see my legs again. I'm going to grab some rags and a paint puck for the bottom of my water dish, which are here somewhere. Oh, flinging stuff away already. Okay. Right, that's me. I am set. I'll pop this in here. I've always got fresh water in a jar with the lid on to keep it fresh. Again, most of you know that by now anyway. Right, wait a minute. I've just seen Thea's comment that says, so true, Danny, I always want to lick them. Okay. Whatever floats your boat. So that's obviously going to be water for washing my paintbrushes, but I also like to have a little bit of clean water for mixing, etc. etc. I don't think I'm going to... do you know something I've found out? I still don't do a huge amount of watercolour painting, but see, when I do, I tend to like to mix the colour on the paper, and because it gives you more character, or I don't know what the painty word is for it, but it just... It seems to be more organic if you do it on the paper for some reason, and I really, really like that. I've got my wee scooshy Derwent bottle. I've also got my Magic 8 Ball, and it's only because it's in the way of the paintbrushes. Oh. Right, there we go. Watercolour brushes. In the llama mug, which is still going strong, unlike Mildred. Right, so that's me. I'm pretty much ready now. Right, magic 8 ball. Yeah. Right, that's me. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready. Has anyone tried the 350 GSM watercolour sketchbook? That's one thing, Ulrika. I don't have the sketchbooks, but I have someone that orders the 350 GSM paper from me in A3 sheets, and she absolutely swears by it. So, doesn't she make them with honey? Sounds edible to me. I wouldn't recommend it, honestly. Don't yuck her yum, Gem. I am not yucking anyone's yum. That's funny. Okay, I think just to start with, what I want to do is not have that tin. This is the problem with having so many tins of Julia's paints. And she is like a class 1 enabler as well. I just wanted to show you as well, see my pan of Nat. I have the original pan that I made when I was in Sweden, so it's a full pan. But can you see how much I've used of it? Like I can actually fit my entire finger in there. But look how spangly it looks. It doesn't look blue at all. It's just really pretty and I like it. So I might incorporate a little bit of that. So what I think what I'll do is I'll put the fire colours out here. Like we'll just do a wee swatch of them. And then we can maybe start painting something over here and we'll get our finger out. I'm going to go for a trusty number 8 Sea White synthetic brush. Now this is just me like plugging the stash shop, sell these as well. Again, staple, you guys know me. Like it, like it, like it. So let's go for it. Move that out of the way. Oh. Get a rag on the go. So that's Raker, Kieran. So that's what I was thinking for the sky. So my sort of image in my head is bonfire here and then very dark round about, and we can have the fireworks, you know, round there. Maybe put some trees in the background or something like that. Honey, oh bother. Absolutely love Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. That's a childhood staple for me. And then we've got Katla. Oh, so nice. So nice. And then Elda, which is the Swedish word for fire, in case anyone's interested. Like, that's the actual proper Swedish word for fire. I actually haven't practiced any Swedish since I came back from Malta. I think I was just kind of like language overload, because when we were in Malta, obviously people were speaking Maltese, but there was a lot of Italian being spoken as well, and my brain can only like cope with so much all in one go. But I do intend to get back to my Swedish, continue to learn. I am able to converse a little bit via text message now in Swedish. It's probably not perfect. Well, probably it's definitely not perfect. But it's at a stage where it's enough that Julia can understand what I'm saying, and I only have to maybe look up like an odd word here and there, so that's quite nice. I'm not confident enough to speak it in conversation. Obviously can do the basics, like how you doing, it's on the left, it's on the right, is it far away over? But yeah, Swedish is challenging me, but I kind of like it. Okay, so there's our fire colours, and let's just put out a bit of Nat just for fun, because it's my favourite. Obviously it's my favourite, it was me that designed it, but it really is. And I've not used it for a while as well. Maybe I'm having Nat withdrawal symptoms or something. Who knows? Give that a little jiggle about in there, make it pretty. Was the fireworks for Guy Fawkes night? Yes! The 5th of November. Normally though the displays, you know, like the organised displays, they tend to fall on a weekend if Guy Fawkes night is a weeknight. So that's where we were on Friday night, and it was absolutely stunning. Had such a good, I really like fireworks, and I like the science behind them as well. It's kind of like got a geeky draw for me as well, because different chemical compounds make different colours. Learn a bit of science. But the display was fantastic. It was quite short, but it was very intense and was 100% worth it. Okay, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. it's oxidized. Wish I had enough money just to buy all the Julia Kay paints. I have to say, like, I am very fortunate in that sense. I don't often have any leverage because you guys know, like, I try and keep it real as much as possible. I don't go in for clickbaity stuff. I don't consider myself to be this ridiculous, like, pillar of social media and like artistic influence. And I'm definitely not talented enough to be a highbrow, gallery level artist. But one of the perks is definitely the fact that Julia sends me all her paints. I'm not mad about it at all. Just had a wee bit too much water in that there. That's why I'm waggling this sketchbook about. Okay, lovely jubbly. Now that's drying a wee bit. Pop that water out the way so I don't knock it over. I'm going to grab a pencil. I tend to, when I'm painting, I tend to just like to paint. I don't really do sketching and that kind of stuff, but I think I might just want to bob down a few pencil strokes for placement. There's a 2H, that's good. For this, you don't want a B pencil because it'll kind of like muddy your watercolour. So yeah, harder pencil's better. So kind of thinking that let's have a baseline there. Fire in the middle, about there. I kind of want some trees because you'll know I like some trees. They would be in the background. And then you're going to have light coming off the fire. So put like a semicircle in there. And this area here, we would make this very dark at the top. And we could have our fireworks pew 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 going off around there. That is about the extent of the drawing. Not very technical, but Tracy likes the purple. Purple. Got to see the fireworks here in Leicester and it was lovely. It felt to me like a welcome back to the UK. Yay! Okay, best of luck, Patty. Keep us informed and I hope Evie's going to be okay. We'll send out the good vibes to you. Yes, thank you. Please do. Righty McHo-ho. Maybe we need a bit of like, maybe we just need like a vignette. Maybe we need to get Kieran out all the way around. Maybe Kieran, yeah, let's mix Kieran and Freya. Oh, this is going to be exciting. I feel like I might need a bigger brush for this though. Let's zoom in a wee bitty. But then I kind of want that as well. Right. I kind of like painting with no plan. It makes me feel free and rebellious. I've just realised it's 25. Right, I'm going to do that little doing thing I was talking about. I will literally be a couple of minutes, okay, guys? So we'll call it a break here. I'll be as quick as I can, but when I come back, that'll be us. We'll get started on some painting. You may now go ahead with the food chat, because I know that's all what you like to do. I'll be back very shortly. I am back. That's the chores done. Random hair belongs up there. Have we had food chat? No, we're talking about illnesses. Okay. Oh. Oh. Yes, can hear music too. Hello. Oh God. I don't even know what my hair's up to today. Right, anyway. Let's change brushes. I'm gonna go for something a little bit more absorbent. So I've got my little Jackson's Raven brush here. This is a good brush. We like this one. Where's my actual water? There we go. So I think what we'll do is we will pop some water down and we'll go a bit wet and wet here. Right, let me reorganise myself a little bit. Come on now, Jem. Get yourself together. Telling you, been a week. It's just been a week. So I'm bringing that down to what's like basically my ground level. I'm just going like a semicircle here. There seems to be quite a lot of fluff on there. We can take fluff in pictures. I should maybe have taped this down, but because it's in my sketchbook, I'm not that bothered. And this paper, like, it does really well. Like, it really, really does. Right, okay. So let's start with Nat, and we'll just go wee like this. Now, we can build this up to our heart's content because we know that this paper will take a lot of water. It'll take a lot of layers and it generally behaves quite well. But I do want to really sort of water this down round this bonfire area. So, but let's play happy-go-lucky because that's watercolour, isn't it? But we can add more in and build more of this up as we go. But I just wanted to get some of that down first. And then we'll grab some of Kieran, which is this very moody black colour. That's maybe a bit much. We've still got some sparkle residue here, which not mad about. That wind is getting ridiculous. Again, we can build this up. We can add to it, make it nice and rich and dark. We do want this to be quite dark, but starting with wet and wet because I want it to kind of do its thing with Nat. There seems to be a bit of resist going on here. I don't know if you can see that. It's weird. Strange, very strange. But we'll build this up in layers. I kind of love this stage now because it does look like a 3-year-old's painted it. I've learned to embrace that part. Years ago, this would have set me into like a full-on panic. Now I'm like, yeah, whatever, whatever. Okay. So I think for this bottom part, we do want Kieran very concentrated, almost silhouette-y. Good old technical terms coming out there. So let's pop that down. I mean, we can do bits with this. Let's just let that do its thing in there as well. Hi Susie, how you doing? Yeah, this is just not... What's going on with this brush? Weird. Like, I should have more pigment here, not less. How strange! Like, I'm having an inverse effect here. Silhouette sounds some sort of pasta. Silhouette spaghetti. Yeah. Silhouette spaghetti. Oh, that's a new one. I like it a lot. Gonna have to invent a pasta that's silhouette spaghetti. Okay, so if we kind of do that, now we'll let that dry a wee bit, which is fine. Start daubing in a little bit. I would say dab, but daub, D-A-U-B, daub. Yeah, I'm actually lifting more than I'm adding in. I think I might have too much absorbency in that brush, to be honest. Is that what you call squid ink pasta? Hi, Katara. Didn't even see that you were in here. You must have sneaked in. Sneaky, sneaky. Yeah, this is interesting. I think we're going to have to let that dry a little bit. Good, been doing more Christmas decorating today, settling up for Christmas crafts with the boy. Sounds like a plan. I'm not quite there yet. The rule in our house says no decorations before the 1st of December, but I am feeling quite festive, which is real nice. Real nice. Right, this is nearly dry in the middle, so let's think about the actual fire part. Elda. Christmas crafts. That's one thing we will have to do now that I've got all the Lego sorted out for the Christmas potential Christmas stream. We'll need to decide on what set you will actually want to build in the live stream, and we will also need to decide on some sort of rules, because if it's going to be a drinking game for charity, we need to have rules. Otherwise, I might end up on a stretcher. So that's something where we can maybe discuss that as we go along. It's too un-Christmassy here to follow any restrictions. Terry agrees, no Christmas decor till December. Yeah. The thing is as well though, a part of it for me is I really enjoy this time of year. I like to call it wintum, and it's that space between kind of like you're past the fallen leaves stage, but you're not into like proper crappy winter weather, which for us is January. So basically that sort of phase between when it cools down and the leaves have all come off the trees up until Christmas, like that's one of my favourite times of year. I really, 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 really enjoy it. Um, I really enjoy the weather. It's my favourite time to go out and walk the dogs. And for us, traditionally, the weather is relatively settled, like before it gets proper wet. So I really like this time of year and I like to enjoy it without Christmas kind of encroaching on it. But I do love Christmas, to be fair. You all know that. I'm a big fan of Christmas. So I'm just kind of riding the wave just now. Hello Elise, how are you? So let's pop in a little bit of this while it's still wet. We'll just see where it goes, see what it wants to do. And maybe just take a damp brush. Ooh. Fun. Wyndham love it, not experiencing it now. Danny told her mum about the Lego stream and she's excited for it. Oh, that's so nice. So nice. We actually have too much to choose from. So I went and like had a dig out and I've got quite a few Christmas sets. The problem is with the bigger sets, it's the length of time that it takes to build them. And I would like to have like something complete within the stream. I don't want to have to stop the stream. Number one, because I've had too much to drink, or number two, because it's midnight. And we don't have something that's finished. So while the bigger sets are lovely and they're spectacular, I think realistically getting one finished within a stream's going to be that's going to be quite a tall order. So I think we're going to have to do a wee bit of thinking on that. Terry celebrates Thanksgiving late November, so I like to concentrate on one holiday at a time. Oh yeah, see, we don't have Thanksgiving here. Like we have this gap between Guy Fawkes Night, which isn't a holiday, but it's for our calendar, personally, that's something that's kind of like a marker. Um, and then to Christmas, so we have this gap. But see, generally the weather's really good and we like it a lot. So it's just savor it before the sort of festive madness begins. But it's really nice to feel festive this year because last year obviously was just a catastrophe and I really didn't. But say I'm kind of feeling like jingling my bells a little bit, so you know, feeling fancy. We were talking about our Mr. Jem and I. We were talking about our sort of schedules between now and Christmas time. And Mr. Jem wants to get a bit more shooting in this year, and he's been invited to a shoot on the 21st of December, and I've told him he's only allowed to go as long as all the Christmas decorations up and we've got the tree up. Them's the rules. So he kind of went, yeah, okay then. It's like damn tootin'. Because I didn't put a tree up last year, just didn't have one. Barely put any Christmas decorations up last year because I just wasn't feeling it. So that's still not dry. Hurry up and dry. I feel like I want to pull this in a bit. I think that's not enough. We need more than that. Oh, that was maybe a bit much, but okay. Just start dragging this in a bit closer now that I've got my flames in. Always down for multiple streams. Like, yeah, you might be Revolution, but I'm not. I need to enjoy Christmas as much as possible this year. I really do. See, I've got a lot of making up to do from last year, and assuming that nobody's going to die on me, I shouldn't tempt fate, and that nobody's going to end up in hospital. Stranger things have happened, but we will see. We will see. Okay. Concentrate a wee bit now. I really like this brush for this, although it's very absorbent, it's got a really nice point on it, so it's kind of got a pointy point on it. So it's quite good for precision in the gaps there. Oh, leaked into the yellow a wee bit there. Goodness me. It's okay though. I am trying not to spend ages on this because I would like to have something that looks remotely like a finished painting. Obviously, say it looks like a 5-year-old's painted it just now, but that's okay. We're fine with that. Vienna's Christmas ready with all the Christmas markets opening now. Can't wait. Still have to get through next week in the kitchen. Ah. Do I have any little nieces or nephews or any little ones to buy for? I have a range of nibblings, and the youngest is. Now, let me get this right. The youngest is 5 months, and the oldest is 18. So, yeah, in fact, no, that's a lie. The oldest is 26. So, yeah, I have lots of nibblings. Lots and lots of them. I do. I don't see them very often, but Mr. Jem's next youngest sister, she has two little ones, and the older one, she likes to draw and things. So anytime I go, I always make sure I take some art supplies with me, and her and I'll sit and draw something or paint something. Have you worked on the store window? Did it go well? I'm not doing that till the beginning of December, Elise. Showed the postmistress some ideas. So she wants, remember we talked about the kind of like beaded curtain effect with the Christmas baubles? That's what she wants. But she just wants candles at the bottom because she has like an actual like red post box that she puts in the window. So we don't need to paint one on the window. So I think it's going to be mostly white Posca we're going to be using on the actual window. And she liked that. Let's just talk. We might as well talk about this. I need to let this dry anyway. Let me just grab my sketchbook. Remember, we picked out the swatch cards, and all of you were like, really like 151. That's the one that she picked. That's the color scheme that she wants. So we are going to be like very frosty colors, and she thought that was a wonderful idea. So lots of whites, lots of light blues and light greys for the actual window. Hello Artsy Endo, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Just, just wafted my painting. Don't worry, everything's fine. Okay, I think what I would like to do, this bottom part is dry now. If I just go back here. This is quite dry now. I do have a bit of unintentional sparkle going on there. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's not really showing up on that bottom part very well, but it's there. What I want to do is maybe mix in some of the Oh yeah. This is going to be interesting. So really dry that brush off now. Start to really like concentrate on an area now. Make it moody. I'm not really bothered about this outside edge, see, because it's quite a rough edge. That's not really a huge concern. I suppose I'm going more for like a feel here than an actual, kind of finished painting. Again, I don't really feel like when we're doing stuff like this, and to be fair, it's the same. See, when I used to do the like the challenges for the subscription boxes, I never aim for a finished piece of art because I really have to take my time, and I kind of like fixate on the really tiny details, and it takes me quite a long time to get through all that. So when we're doing stuff like this, it's not, I don't really think of it as a finished painting in any way. I just like to get a feel for it. And as we know, and we've proven this quite a few times, that quite often these sort of rough, paintings that we do, they end up turning into something really cool. And the example I always give is the Mecha Oggies, so Mecha Moggy, Doggy, and Froggy. That was just a sort of slapdash um idea that came from a prompt, and it really wasn't my wheelhouse. Like robotic things and mechanical things, not my thing at all. Quite the opposite, usually nature. And that turned out to be like it was a really great idea. And the initial drawing that came out wasn't particularly spectacular, but when I spent the time going back and refining it and tweaking it, we ended up with a really great finished article. So that's kind of where I'm at. So here's Katla, which is our brownish colour. So I'm just going to put this in the bottom here. Yeah, that wind's blowing. I don't know if you can hear that or not now. We weren't supposed to have any like mega wind going on, but there you go. Oh, my phone's vibrating. Moody. Try it. This top corner, I'm obviously had far too much water going on there. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But it's fine. It's okay. Your healthy living is really showing now. You've got gorgeous cheekbones. Oh, thank you. And I am starting to regain like my normal face shape, which is nice. Not that you can really see it in this light, but I'm still quite brown as well. Obviously, I caught a bit of sun when I was on holiday, and it's made me look fairly healthy. But yeah, I'm starting to get like my normal face shape back. It's slow, but it is happening. It is happening. Not mad about it at all. The only thing that's bugging me just now is I talked about being in that sort of awkward stage with clothes. And what's happening now is there's clothes that I'd hoped I would be able to wear over the winter, and they don't fit. Like they're not sitting well on me. But I'm kind of like refusing to buy any more clothes. So, but thankful for small mercies. I'll deal with it. It'll be okay. Be fine. I am planning on going back out running in the next couple of weeks. That's me good to go. I'm just trying to figure out how to fit it into my schedule because things are pretty bonkers just now. And I have to carve out that time, and it has to be consistent. There's no point in saying, oh, well, I'll try and go out like one day this week. I need to have set days and set times to do it because it's much easier to discipline yourself until you get back into that routine of wanting to go out and do it. But that will come, and I think a lot of the like the awkward body image and shape stuff that'll start to rectify itself because when I start running again, everything kind of like tones up and tightens up a little bit. So we've got that to look forward to. But thank you for that, Lou. That was really nice of you to say. I have been working really hard, so it is quite nice. And I mean, especially now, like it's not polite to comment on someone's appearance, especially if you don't really know a person. Um, but you'll know that I've been working hard, so I'm glad that someone sees something. Papa Jem did say the last time he was here, because I've not seen him for ages. I do believe his exact phrase was "holy shit." um, But I don't think he'd realised how much weight I'd actually lost, and because I hadn't seen him for a long time, he really noticed it. And that was really nice of him to, because it was a genuine reaction. So, it's it kind of, not that I have to be validated by other people, but when you've been working hard and you've been plugging away, I mean, I've been plugging away at this since January, it is quite nice if people notice and you're like, oh yay me. Ulrika had a bit of a chilly breeze earlier. Love feeling smaller in big clothes. Well, see, I don't, Lou. Like, I really don't, because well, I've got the problem that I get like emotionally attached to garments, and I tend to wear them to death. So I have things that I physically couldn't fit into that were my absolute favourites, and I'm thinking to myself, oh yay, I can go and like put that on, and then you put it on and realise it makes you look terrible. So I've got a bit of that just now, which it's a bit deflating, honestly. But I just have to find new favourite clothes. Is there a VR program where you can run in different places? I've got no idea. I do not want to do any sort of like I need to be outside. Um, that's a thing for me. Outside is good. We need the outsideness. I spend far too much time in front of a screen as it is, and I do not wish to extend that more than I have to. Oh, caught a wee bit of my purple there. Living dangerously here, guys. I think I'm going to pull in a bit of hell. I feel like Kieran's not going to be as dark as I want. I think we've got this in the stash shop. I want to say yes. But this is it's dark. It's like a very smoky black. Let's pop that in there. Mm-mm-mm. This needs to be quite... Yeah, that's better. Look. We need this so that our fireworks are going to show up. Jim lives in a VR program. Yeah, pretty much. I have to say, very lucky that way. Very, very lucky. I'm quite enjoying it. I've been playing the VR version of Assassin's Creed, and I have to say it's really good fun. The your little for your little like assassin knives, that's good fun. That is good fun. I like it. Um but yeah, no, when it comes to actually running, because I wouldn't say I ran seriously, but I was quite committed to my running, and at one point I was running like 40 miles a week. That's a lot. And I did, there was loads of different, it wasn't just like, we'll go out and run for an hour. I'd like proper drills and everything that I did, and then when I was training for races, I would change things up. And it's funny because, and it was before I started the cave, but I didn't realise how fit I was until I wasn't that fit anymore. And I think back on it, and this was back when I used to go and take milk samples from farms. So, I was out at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and there used to be a farm that it was actually an overnight milking. It was absolutely bananas. Um, but I used to go to that farm, and the milking would start at 6 in the evening, and we used to get finished at like 3 in the morning. After I had done that, I would go and stay the night at my sister-in-law's, so one of Mr. Jem's sisters, because she was close by, and then I would drive home like a couple hours later once it was light, and I would then go out for an 11-mile run. See, when I think back on it, I'm like, you absolute lunatic, like, what is wrong with you? But that's just, that was what I did, and I enjoyed it, like, I really did enjoy it, and I can't wait to get back there. But I also have to realise as well that while my brain still thinks, yeah, you can go out and run 11 miles, I would be lucky right now to run for 11 minutes. And I'm going to have to just build it back up very slowly, very gently. There'll be lots of walking, there'll be more walking than running to begin with, just until I build my stamina and my fitness levels back up. So being patient with myself is not my forte. So it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be a process. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Love to be out in the fresh air. I especially love running in the colder weather. Like it's my favourite thing. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I really am. Right, I'm going to try and sort of cancel out some of this like semicircle stuff we've got going on now. So I'm just gonna pop in a few bits and bobs there, and then we'll take a damp brush and smooth it out a wee bit. Let it dry and then go back over it. So like a little bit of glazing. There you go. That's doing its thing already. See, to be fair, I think I could probably sit and do this all day. See, even if it didn't actually like manifest itself as an actual painting. So you just like slop and paint on the paper like this. Just go forever. We are getting there with it though. Switch back to this wee synthetic brush because I just want to, because we're thinking obviously there's going to be smoke emanating from the fire as well. Fire, fire. So we'll go for more like swirly motions there. Woo. So we've gotten away from that sort of semicircle feel there. Finally home, good stuff, Jan. And the Katara, the thing is, it wasn't really. I was only. I was running at that point. I don't even know if I probably was training for a race because there was a point where I was always training for a race. But I used to run 4 or 5 days a week. If I was quieter at work, that was before like I do what I do now for my proper job. So I was out taking milk samples, so you weren't out like every day of the week. If it was a quiet week, I'd run 5 days a week, and if it was a busy week, I'd only run 4. But I had a really good mixture. But yeah, no, I never thought anything of an 11 mile run, and I remember specifically there was where we stayed at that farm. So that was before the cave. We were basically at the top of the hill, so it didn't matter where I ran. I was running home uphill, and I mean a steep hill, and that's just the way that it was. And because I was on this schedule, there was a couple of houses and farms at the top of the hill. So I used to pass the same people all the time, like driving past, because they were either going to work or coming back from work. And there was a gentleman that stayed in a cottage, like 2 neighbours over, and he always used to wave to me on his way past. So I'd be coming up the hill home, and he would be driving down to work. And there was one day where I'd been out on this overnight milking, and I was doing a 12 mile run, and I got to 10.5 miles, and I had nothing left in the tank. Like I had no beans, and I wasn't going to pretend that I did. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to walk the last bit home. It's fine. Absolutely done. I've run myself ragged. So when he passed me, I was walking, and he actually stopped to see if I was okay. And he wound down his window and he said to me, he says, I just thought I better stop because I've never seen you walking. And I said to him, I was like, oh, I'm really disappointed in myself. I was supposed to be doing 12 miles, but I was at work overnight, and I've got nothing left. And he looked at me like I had horns growing out my head. And he said, well, I think you can let that one go and give yourself a break. And I was like, oh, well, I should have run 12 miles. And he's like, what is wrong with you? So it just kind of puts things into perspective for you a wee bit. But that was just what I was into. Progress, not perfection. No, wind in Lincolnshire all very calm and dry. Well, it's been lovely here. Like the weather's been really, really good, but see that wind's just picked up out of nowhere. In my Sea White sketchbook, I painted a load of small oblongs of colour gradients to make them into little paintings. I love doing that. I do it with gouache though. What do you know? And I never knew that man's name, and I never knew who he was, or well, obviously I knew of him because he stayed in the locality. But he always smiled and waved, and the fact that he stopped just to make sure that was okay, I was like, oh bless. But yeah, he obviously thought I wasn't wired up right for obvious reasons. Like only 12 miles. Oh, that's quite funny. The things that we do though. I'd said to Mr. Jem as well, I have a medals board that fixes to the wall. So basically, it's just a plank of wood with loads of hooks in it. And when you run a race, you always get a medal at the end. And, you know, you hang your medals up. So I said to Mr. Jem, if I get back running, I'm not going to hang my old medals up. I'm just going to keep them in a box and we're going to start afresh. But my medals board's like an oblong shape and it says, seems like a lot of work for a free banana, because when you go to organise races, a lot of the time you get a goodie bag at the end along with your medal, and 9 times out of 10 there's a banana in it because it's to, you know, like replenish your energy and everything. So fun fact. But I was like, yeah, let's start again. Let's fill the board up again. So that's the plan. That's what I'm going to do. There is there's the supernova run, which the supernova runs are so well organized. Like I would recommend them for anyone. Like see if you're a beginner, they're amazing. They do 5Ks and 10Ks, but they do them at night, and they want you in glow sticks and like light up stuff. But it's a staged race, so you can go in a pen to run at the pace that you want to finish the race in. And what it means is that the slow people aren't holding up the really fast people that are maybe going for a time. And the staff at those events are absolutely amazing. So I found out they do one of those at the Forth Road Bridge, which is the bridge that basically connects Edinburgh to Fife. So that's like really close to me. So I think I might do that next year. I'll probably, well, hopefully by that time I would do the 10K. I wouldn't do the 5K, but they still do the 5K at the Kelpies in Falkirk. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Kelpies here in Scotland, look it up. It is fantastic and it's an amazing run because it's at night and the Kelpies are all lit up. That's a 5K. And that's in March. So I'm thinking that if I start back running now, I could be running that race again. And I haven't run that race since 2018. So I think I would quite like to do that. It's such fun though, and there's no pressure. But one thing I've found, see, running an organised race at night, it is the weirdest feeling because see, when you do it during the day, like obviously there's loads of people there, there's always spectators and people have got family and friends and you know, people cheering you on and stuff, and it can be quite a sort of charged and rowdy affair, especially if it's a bigger race like a half marathon or a marathon. But see, when you're running at night, there's like this hush over the place, and see when you're standing on the starting line waiting for the start gun, you kind of like almost want to whisper. And it's just a completely different vibe. Everyone's really chilled out. And even when you're running round, it's not the same. It's almost like, oh, it's bedtime, which it's different, but it's not bad. Like I really like it, so I would totally be up for that again. And then once I get good, I'm getting all animated about this now. This is how much I love running. Once I get like proper fit and you know, running decent times and stuff, I'll absolutely start running for charity again. It's one of those things that makes seeing, especially on days that you're struggling, see when you're out doing your training runs and you've maybe had a bad week or you're just really tired or whatever, um, and you just think to yourself, like, why am I even doing this? See if you commit to a race for charity, it makes those struggle days like so worth it because you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for someone else as well. Um, and all of that's like, that's all the things that make running worthwhile. And that's why I've missed it so much and I can't wait to get back to it. Like, I really can't. Well, looking forward to it. It is a thing. Like, I probably get about as excited about running as I do about art supplies. And I don't ever want that to change. And to me, running or being fit enough to run and healthy enough to run, that is a privilege, and I have missed it so much, and I can't wait. Okay, we're looking a little bit less 5-year-old. I would just like to point out the granulation that's going on here. Oh, granulation! It's very nice indeed. So I'm going to start popping a little bit of darker colour in here. So this is Hell again. Now I'm going to have to let this dry completely now, before I can continue on with what I want to do. But we'll just start popping that in there. Yeah, getting somewhere now. I'm going to move that out the way. Where do I get the energy from? Well, I usually have a surplus of energy, let's be fair. I tend to go from like 100 to 0 and there's not very much in between. And having the structure of running, it helps me like discipline it and kind of like channel that energy a bit better. It's like an outlet for it. So yeah, I'm excited. I am excited. I know as well, like the first couple of weeks are going to be torture. I'm going to be like, oh God. And everything's going to hurt. Like, and it's everyone's like, well, after your first run, everything's going to be sore. No, days 3 and 4 are so much worse. And the best thing is to go out in day 4 and suck it up and run through it. That's what we do. So once that sort of achy stage and the stage of like more walking than running, once that's passed, things will get good pretty quickly after that. And that's just what we're aiming for. But yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to go to an actual race again. Like, oh, that's going to be well good. The thing is, as well, being near Edinburgh now, well, there's the Edinburgh like marathon festival, so there's everything from a 5K up to a marathon, and that's really close for me. So like, there's a lot more races that are accessible now, whereas before when I was in Bandit country, I was having to travel hours and hours. And when you're only going to run a 5K, which at the time I would be hoping to be done in under 28 minutes, you don't really want to drive for 3 hours each way to only run for like less than half an hour. So lots more options here as well. So plan on really putting that to good use, getting a lot out of it. I think we're gonna have to do some running for the British Heart Foundation now as well under these circumstances, you know. I think I've run for the British Heart Foundation once. I think it was only once before. Run for diabetic charities as well, cancer charities. Do all the bit. But yeah, that makes it worthwhile. I get quite emotional when I'm running as well. See if I'm like labouring, you know, if I'm really struggling, I can get quite emotional. And there's loads of times, I'm talking about on training runs, not necessarily races, but I've had loads of times on training runs where I've been running and crying at the same time. It's very cathartic, as long as nobody can see you. But having a tendency to run on country roads, usually like tears and snot, and it's just me and it's fine. So, you know. Right. I'm going to grab Raker now, which is this kind of like smokier blue colour. I'm not entirely convinced that we're quite dry enough yet. Yeah, look, I can still stick. Come on now. Just want to let that dry a wee bit more. Patience, patience, patience. Jan says, I'll happily come up and help you out. I'll drive alongside. I have had people cycle with me before, and that's really, really helpful, especially if you're running longer races. I did an 18 miler, and my friend came, I think she joined me at like mile 12, and she cycled alongside me, which was like barely a cycle, like she was wobbling because I was running that slow. But it was through like quite a tough section. I was on a back road and I was kind of like up and down, and I was just flagging a wee bit, and she just turned up at the right time. And see, just to have that company, even if it's just for a couple of miles, sometimes that's enough just to like give you a wee boost. So if you want to do that, Jan, you're more than welcome. What month was I born, Annalise? March. I am a March baby. It sounds like my emotional outlet. Yeah, well, I've always found that creative outlets have done that for me, but like running's good for your mental health. Any form of exercise is mentally advantageous as well, whether it's walking or whatever. But yeah, sometimes that's how it comes out. But I've always found it to be quite helpful. And when I did run in a running club, again, which I did before I started the cave, ran with my local running club. I didn't really enjoy it because I don't really like people. Like it wasn't my thing. It was a bit too social for me. But there were a couple of people that I sort of connected with, and I would maybe run with them just once in a while, not even like once a week, but you know, every now and then you maybe go out together. And by the time you came back from the run, like between two or three of you, you'd put the entire world to rights, and you'd kind of like sounded out all that stuff that was going on in your head. So yeah, really helpful, like super good. Highly recommend. I always say though as well though, like don't like, because I know people that run and they hate running. It's like, oh well, I don't like it, but I do it twice a week because it helps me like stay healthy. Like there's a million exercises you could be doing. Like don't torture yourself because you know you either like running or you don't. And if you don't, if you're not really into it, then it's going to be very difficult for you to keep up. You need to do something you enjoy. But it just so happens for me that I do enjoy it very, very much. Very, very much. Okay, I feel like we're getting somewhere now. I've got this little bald bit in here though. I do need to be patient and stop like adding more. Just let it dry. Let it dry. Sadly, my bike got stolen. Oh, Jan. That's hilarious. Yeah, it takes time, Revolution. I don't think we're going to have anything spectacular by the time we're finished, but it looks a hell of better than it did an hour ago. Oh, Jan used to run a bit. I did not know that, Jan. 5K was the most, but I have to say, even that made me feel great. Do you know, I love it. See, especially after like a really long or hard session, like when, you know, when you get the sort of like spaghetti limbs, like you've really pushed everything out. About an hour later, because obviously all your serotonin and your endorphins are going, you feel like a freaking superhero, and it's great. It's the best feeling in the world. Susan misses the pride at the end of a run. Yep, that sense of achievement. Stop fiddling. Yes, I'm not touching it. Done. No, my bike really did get stolen. I never got this good feeling with exercise. I feel worse, though I know I could do with more exercise. I would say, Thea, that you have to find the exercise that you like, but you also have to find the level that's right for you as well. Um, I I did a spin class, my very first spin class. Now, I would just like to say for the record, I really like spin. I like aggressive, hard exercise. Like, see if I'm not like passing out, I feel as if there's no point, like go hard or go home kind of thing. But my very first spin class, I had to get off the bike and go and throw up in a bucket and then get back on the bike. That was it was horrendous. But once I kind of figured out that I'd gone too hard, that and like rookie mistake. Once I'd figured that out, like do a spin class, absolutely knock the stuffing out yourself, and see afterwards you feel as if you could take on the world. It was great. There is no point in exercising if it's making you feel crappy. I hate walking, absolutely detest it with the fire of a thousand suns, and I have to do it every day because of my dogs, and I could never enjoy it. The only thing that makes it more bearable is the fact that I'm surrounded by like beautiful countryside. That makes it better, and I can take pictures on my walks and think, oh, I'll make a painting out of that or whatever, and that's kind of like the thing that keeps me motivated, and obviously the fact that my dogs need it. um but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't do it. So I definitely think there's so many options out there, and I think you just have to find what's right for you. And if it makes you feel horrible, that tells me that the intensity level isn't right, or you just haven't found the exercise that's right for you. Right, I have just caught this paint at the right time now. So I'm in with Raycure, and this has got like a white base in it, so it's almost kind of like milky. And I just want to kind of add a wee bit of that in to show that this is coming out the fire. So I've deliberately mixed in a little bit of the gnat and the hell there, and I'm pulling it down because when I get into this lighter part, I want it to show that this is smoke coming off the bonfire, you see? So that was deliberate, believe it or not. There is method to my madness sometimes, but it's just enough to like tint the paint a wee bit. And it kind of also looks like a firework in itself, which I'm not mad about. I'm doing this with the synthetic brush because I've got more control with it, just because the bristles are a bit stiffer. Stiffer? Yeah. More stiff. Stiffer? Yeah. Firm. Yeah. Getting there now. Elisa's mum was born in March. Pisces are either highly driven and successful or their own worst enemy. You can be both. That's me. Mum was the fish swimming downstream. Jem is the fish swimming upstream. As I say, I think it depends on what mood takes me, to be honest, Elise. But I would say that would describe me quite well. But I say I am definitely both things. I am a highly driven person, and all the things. So well, I mean, there's stuff on the bucket list that I haven't done yet, but things that I've wanted to achieve, I have achieved. But you have to put the hard work in, and a lot of people don't want to do that bit. Jan enjoys our evening walk, even in the dark. I shall come up sometime and take the dogs out for that. Would be amazing. I would love that. April has a hard time with exercise because of cerebral palsy. Swimming is usually easiest. Do you enjoy it though, April? Like if you go for a swim, do you get something out of it though? Terry walks every evening, enjoy a beautiful sunset. Yeah. My knees don't allow running anymore. Well, see, this is why it's very, very important for me to keep up the old yoga and build up the core strength so that your posture's good, which means when you're running, your knees are in a good position, but also to strengthen the muscles, particularly the ones that support your kneecap. Very, very important, and big advocate of the yoga. Again, not something I thought I would enjoy because I like aggressive exercise, but really enjoy the yoga. Gives me a little zen moment, and it also makes me quite bendy as well, which is great when like see when you get to a certain age. Like I feel it at 40. Sometimes it's a bit of an effort to bend down and pick stuff up. So if you've got lots of flexibility, that definitely makes it easier. Even simple walking we do in normal day without realising, being closed in my house for the last 4 years and spending most of the time in bed. Yeah, 100%. Katara loves the water, hate getting out. April doesn't, you don't get much out of swimming. Prefer weights. They make me feel awesome despite being super weak. But there you go, that's what you need. Yeah, and then operated knees. Well, that's it. I've got to be very careful with my knee. And if I look after it and don't do silly things, like everything will be fine, it'll be okay. But I have to be very, very cautious. And that is what I plan on doing. I'm not going to try and be a hero at any point. Even if it takes me like 3 months to get back to running a 5K, I am 100% okay with that. Um, because I don't want to render myself useless like almost immediately, just because I feel like I might be able to run for an extra 10 minutes or something. Like, that's not happening. We're not doing that. Very literal, but slow and steady wins the race, and that is basically going to be it for me. But the thing is as well, like I'm only setting goals and competing for myself. It's not like I've got deadlines or anything that I need to achieve or do. It's only for my own benefit, so I should really be sensible and take it easy. The good thing is though, because I ran for years and years, I know my body really well, I know my limits, and I know when the signals come, like my body's trying to tell me something, and it's like, oh right, we've been here before, we know what to do with this. So I'm quite confident that I'm not going to like accidentally overdo it or anything. I know my body fairly well. My only problem is my brain's going to go straight back into like, oh, we know how to do this, let's run like we used to do. And I have to remember that I'm older and obviously have lost quite a lot of my fitness level in the last wee while. So I have to like not try and go into autopilot because that won't end well. But I would like to think I'm fairly sensible with stuff like that. So not worth blowing out my knee, because if I blow out my knee, that's it. Like, it's over, it's done. So very cautious. Jock's snoring again. Popping some trees in here. It's just that idea of trees, it's not actual trees. The colour palette's pretty good, eh? That's, well, we have to say, with one thing we can say for Julia is that she definitely does have an eye for colours and composition. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't still have her shop. She has informed me, I was chatting to her the other day, she has made another batch of Merida, which is the one of the paints that's been missing for the shop for a while. That's one of her like sort of flip paints. So if any of you have been hankering after that, I'm trying to get it in before Christmas. I don't know if it's going to be here in time for Christmas, but if not, it will be ready in the new year. So you can look forward to that if that's your thing. I think it's just such a pretty colour. The sparkles are coming out. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. I think that's one of the things that's really magical about Julia's paint. Well, not just Julia's paints, but you know, any paints that are like this. And that's why we wanted to do it. Look, I've got a funny feeling that that might be the moon trying to peek out in behind there. See that little paint splotch that I put in there? New research shows that doing yoga helps back pain, even if it's YouTube yoga classes. That is not new research. That has been, it might have been proven in research, but that's been known for a long time. The minute you strengthen your core, which is what yoga is all about, you're basically, your muscles strengthen and it supports your structure, your skeleton better. Yoga helps with loads of things. I keep saying to Papa Jem, because he has a pretty bad back, and again, just getting a little bit older, I'm like, totally help with your balance, your flexibility. Like, you should be doing this. And he kind of goes, yeah, no, 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 and then doesn't do it. And I'm like, well, stop moaning. Because the thing is, you don't have to be doing all these big, fancy, complicated poses, and any of the poses in yoga can be modified to make them easier. And doing a yoga stretch isn't about stretching as far as you can go. It's about moving to a point where you can feel some sort of movement in your muscles. Like, so you can feel that you're stretching, but not that you've like literally wrung your muscles out. Chair yoga is really good as well if you don't have the ability to invert yourself. Mama Jem has like an inner ear vertigo thing, and if she goes upside down, it like basically sends her for a loop and she feels like she's drunk. So like the inverted yoga poses, which is when your head's the wrong way round, you can totally change all of them to suit you as well. Like it is so accessible and it's really, really good for you. And say it gives you a bit of like a Zen moment as well. Also highly recommend. I'd say not something I ever thought I'd be into, but yeah, absolutely. That's not the moon, that's when you fiddle too much. Jan, don't ruin it for me. Let me live in my little, yeah, look, I'm gonna, totally gonna do this now. I'm doing this to spite you, Jan. Look, it's just peeking out. I do need to make that a little bit more um, horizontal. I have never used the lifting technique in watercolour to create a moon. There is a first time for everything, guys. So that's just a damp, clean brush. This is so much fun. This is a testament to this paper as well. How many layers of paint have I put down on this paper? A lot. Like, actually a lot. It's the freaking moon. do feel like that cloud looks a little bit unnatural now though. That better? Yeah, why not? Katara needs to investigate cheer yoga. Absolutely, highly recommend. Yeah, I did a bit of chair yoga. I did a bit of chair yoga when I'd hurt my knee. Obviously I couldn't bend it and I couldn't put any weight on it, and I had to be in a seated position either on the floor with my legs like straight out in front of me or in a chair. I found it easier, though this is going to sound a bit weird, but I found it easier sitting in a chair doing yoga. I found it easier to work on my core muscles and my stomach. Like I could feel them better because I was sitting down rather than lying down or folded over or whatever. And I worked my core muscles much better doing chair yoga than doing normal yoga. My core's still not like I need to build my core back up. I've got zero core again, but we're going to work on that. Right, I kind of want to add in more nat here, but I'm reluctant to do this. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit though because I'm like that. Don't you make me come up there, just remember I have got to the A1 and put on cruise control. Yeah, I'm dangerously close to Jan, guys, although she lives in England and I live in Scotland. We are both very close to like the main motorway that connects like this side of the countries. So Jan's like a hop, skip, and a jump if she wanted to get angry. I can't imagine you angry, Jan. Can imagine you grumpy. I jest, of course. A Jan moon. Are we going to call it the Jan moon? I like that. Ooh, Jan moon. That's like a full moon or a half moon and then a Jan moon. Okay, Nat's going down really well on top of hell now. It's like we've built up a wee base there. So let's just go for it. Just because the sparkles are going to go all the way up. That's still a wee bitty wet in there. I'm kind of happy with this now in terms of having a backdrop for these fireworks. This needs to be absolutely bone dry though, or else our hollow paints just won't show up properly. So, okay. It's truly really frustrating to watch an exercise video and skip like 90% of it because you can't put weight on your hand. Yeah. Well, see, that was another thing as well. I've got to be very careful. Thea, you'll understand this. A lot of the weight bearing yoga poses, when you are in the dog position, so on your knees or your feet and your hands, your wrists are at this angle. That is really, really painful for me. And you can see that my pinky's starting to bend up. Yeah, so that's a problem. But the other thing I found for that is you get these floor mats, they fold in half, but they've got handles on them, and they're for people doing push-ups, and it's to stop wrist strain. So rather than having your hands flat on the floor, you're actually holding on like that. But obviously you're still in the same position and you can extend your arms. I found that really helpful when I went back to doing like full body yoga. But yeah, I get that. But again, I've got to watch my grip as well because it's not great on that hand. A Jan Moon Moon. Dangerously close to Jan, yeah. Might have to jump off the stream. I've got therapy soon, working on getting me out of the apartment. Yay! Please depart, April. Do your thing. You can always catch up the rest on the a wee replay afterwards, which I just make available more or less straight away. Your wrist doesn't go that way either. Yeah, I know, I get it. Is Ulrika still here? I'm kind of looking at the time, it's 5:45. Ulrika, give us a shout in the chat if you are still here because I want to show you what I was going to show you. My joints go on too many degrees. Ulrika's got the opposite problem and she's still here. Right, we're going to let this dry. While we're doing that, as I say, I had something specifically special to show Ulrika. So let me just pop these to the side. So Ulrika made a comment under my Facebook post about this stream, about the shininess of the paints, and we all like the shiny, but Ulrika obviously appreciates it specifically. I have this box, and this is a box that I keep scrapbooking supplies in, but this is literally my shiny box. Now, I don't know how many of you traded stickers as a kid. That was a big thing for us in the 90s. These are basically all my shiny stickers, and they're so pretty. So there's like hollow ones in here, like this, and this entire box is like this. So like everything, literally everything is shiny. So I just wanted to show you some of these because I knew you'd be like, oh, pretty. Look, so pretty. And some of the stickers that I've actually picked out of this box, I've got one behind me somewhere, where these ones, so that this is for the scrapbook page that I'm working on, and these are butterflies, but they're just, oh, they're so nice. Oh, they're so pretty. They're so good. We do like all the shiny. So the ones I particularly like are these sort of like stained glass window type ones, but though I've got them in blue. Let me see if I can find a blue one. Yeah, like this. Like that's just, oh, like that's all the pretty. Like I got you. And the butterflies are really pretty, aren't they, Jan? So I've got a really nice selection here. There's bigger leaves as well. There's a fern. And they're just, they're so lovely. And I don't know what it is, but there's definitely like a certain pleasure in just having a box full of shiny stickers. I suppose it's like having a palette full of shiny paints. We've got these ones as well. These are little circle ones. They've got some really pretty ones of these as well. Like there's a planet one. Let me move this out of the way here. Um, look, oh, just so nice. And there's a lady with the moon, and there's one with the sun as well. So I would like to do like a kind of sparkly scrapbook page, like use some of these. What else have we got? There's one with like a whale on it, like that's also really pretty. But they're like super hollow, those ones. Like, oh, there's so much going on. So much going on. I was thinking maybe like a fairy theme or something. We could use some of these stickers. There's some of the smaller window ones. They're kind of pretty as well with the flowers on them. So yeah, I wanted to show you that, Ulrika, because you specified specifically the shiny. It makes you sound like a magpie. Yeah, it does a little bit. That's funny. Black page then to show them off. Oh, that's a good idea, Jan. I like your thinking. Art at Jules. Hi, didn't see you come in. You have a shiny box too. Comes out at Christmas and special occasions. Yeah. That I've got so many stickers in here, like there's so many. I do find though, and I don't know, for those of you that do a bit of scrapbooking or junk journaling or whatever, I don't know about you, but I don't like the this is going to sound really stupid, but if I've used a particular element on a page, I don't like the same element to pop up on the page that faces it. So see if I've got like a wax seal on the left hand page, I will not use a wax seal on the right hand page. I've got a bit of a thing about that. So it would be so easy because these, like, obviously it's like, oh, shiny, let's use all the shiny stuff. I don't want my entire scrapbook to end up just being like a whole bag of shiny, basically. Because I think it would be very easy to get carried away with these, but some of them are so pretty. I've got longer, I call them like border stickers, so they're like strips, and you'd maybe put them round the outside or have them hanging down. I've got some that are like lace patterns, but they've got a hollow effect on them, but they don't go in the shiny box. They go in the box with all the other long, skinny stickers, obviously. But anyway, I just thought you would like to see the shiny box. Danny needs sparkly wheels. We do like the shiny box. Right, let's see how our paint's drying now. Want to continue on with the... No, it's not dry, guys. It's not dry, and I don't have much time left. I am... You're welcome, Ulrika. You are so welcome. I am going to go and give this a little bit of a blast with the hairdryer. just to dry this off so that we can put some fireworks in before we finish up. I will only be a moment. There we go. So the only disadvantage of that is it does tend to curl your pages up a wee bit. I do have a heat gun, but it's like packed away and it would take too long to get it out. But that's just put us in exactly the right spot. The nice thing as well is I always find that the pages, see, even if they do start to buckle a wee bit in this sketchbook, they seem to sort themselves out no problem. And it's one of the things I love about the paper in this sketchbook. Like I'm definitely, when I finish my big Leuchtturm sketchbook, see when I'm done with this, I'm just going to use one of these watercolour journals as my like everything sketchbook. I like the texture for pencil. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. Right, let's get some fireworks and go. Now, what did I do with my... Oh, it's up here. Okay. So when we use these, we want really concentrated colour, so hardly any water at all. So I'm just going to give this like the tiniest of spritzes. Obviously not over my painting because that's a terrible idea. But like just from a distance, a really quick wee scoosh. Just to let that pigment start moving about. And I'm going to use quite a small tight paintbrush for this, so I'm going to use a synthetic brush as well. I might move down to a size 6 though. I want it to be big enough so that you can easily see it, because obviously we've got sparkles and stuff going on, but I want it to be fine enough so that it actually looks like a firework. So let me see. Not that one. Is that my number 6? Yeah, right, there's my number 6 sea white, so a wee bit weirder than the one we were using. That was a number 8. This brush is old now. This was my original sea white brush, and I keep saying I'm going to replace it, and I've never replaced it. The ends are starting to get a tiny little bit frayed, like the tiniest little bit, but not bad enough for me to change it out yet. Okay, so I think maybe Vega, this one up here, might be a good shout. So let's start manipulating that a little bit. Looking good. Yeah, Elise, these are the Sea White watercolor journals. I sell them in the stash shop. They're super cheap, and they represent great value for money. Right, let's see how this is going to go. I'm excited already. I'm excited already. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I'm going to have to zoom in a bit for this. Now, half the fun with this particular paint that I'm using is that it is a flip paint, so once it dries and you start tipping it in the light, it looks a different colour. So good. I need to find a balance. This might not be the right brush for this though. I need to find a balance between dry and wet and keeping a point. I might have to change this out. I think this brush is maybe just a little bit too old for this now. We will see. Oh, yeah. See? This is fun. Yeah, this is. I should have just called this stream shiny if I'd known we were going to be doing all the painting. I kind of like Polaris as well though, because I do like a kind of bluish colour. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Well, Ulrika, I hope you have a lovely evening this evening. Thanks for coming and stopping in and spending time with us. And yeah, have a pint for me as well when you go out. See if I can do a stunning sketchbook with cartridge paper in. I use for World Watercolour Month. Takes pencil, great. As long as you don't get it too wet, we'll take water. Honestly, like, see the sea white papers. I'm a fan. Like, I'm a fan. They're they seem to be very reliable. Oh, that went horribly wrong. My hand just decided that it wasn't playing there. Do you know what's amazing? See, when I look on the monitor, the paint looks really, really blue, but when I'm looking at it with my eyes, it's purple. Absolutely love these paints. So easily amused. Ooh. Oh, so much. This is so much fun, guys. This is so much fun. Why not go for all the colours? So I've got Caster. Caster's not. It's still a flip paint. I think it's a little bit more subtle though. It's a softer paint to use. Like this is much more malleable than the other ones. Like it takes a lot less water to get this one going. You can see the green there. Um, but yeah. So I think I'm just gonna go pew, pew, pew. Sound effects obviously helps. And I think we've got, I don't want to cover the Jan moon, but I think we'll put one down here. You'll have a JD for me, yes. Good girl. The paints look like candy, they do, Katara, don't they? They look tasty. Right, I'm going to go for Capella last in this corner. With Nat in the background, this looks so awesome. Yeah. The moon. Ah, nice one, Thea. Oh, using all the moves. Okay. Now, I'm getting serious now, guys. I'm going to tilt this slightly just so I don't put my hand in that. Right, let's go for here. Wee. I'm kind of in danger of these looking a little bit like flowers, but you know, I'm okay with it. And you all know these fireworks I'm talking about. You know the ones that come up and they crackle and they go all at the same time. That's what we're going for here. Okay. I don't know where to lean. What are we going to do? This is the part that's a problem for me because I have really bad problems. Oh, that really does look like flowers now. That was not supposed to happen. God damn it. Yeah, like pressure and leaning, that is an issue for me. Right, let's just I shouldn't have done that. That was my own fault. Still looks like flowers. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Look how good that looks. Right, I'm going to give this a little bit more of a moment to dry and then I'll start tilty so you can see what's going on. I'm going to go back to my fire now that this is nice and dry. Jock, are you okay down there? That was a bit violent. I'm getting the stink eye. I interrupted his scratch. Right, I'll find the paints. Oh, my hand's really stiff now. Yeah, better. So in at the base here of the fire, I do want to put a little bit of Catla in, but I want it to be quite dilute, which is quite difficult because this is a really concentrated colour. I mean a lot of Julia's paints are anyway. I'm sure some of you that have them will know that. And I'm not going too hard here either because I don't want to pick up the layer underneath too much. Yeah, getting there now. I need something shiny in the middle of the fire. Well, I had thought about, I'd actually thought about putting a guy on the bonfire, but I changed my mind. That's part of the, it's a bit old-fashioned now, but it's part of the tradition of fireworks. Do you know what I could do, Elise, now that you've said that? We've got Tindra. So Tindra is the one that's just sparkle. There's no pigment in it. Maybe we could put that around this edge rather than in the middle of the bonfire. Just a thought. Just a thought. I'm kind of liking it the way it is though. He's like, Tindra's so great. Well, I honestly, I just think of it as like the Christmas paint because I would put that on top of snow to make it sparkly. Christmas decorations, obviously sparkly. Round any sort of festive lights, you know, like a halo effect, sparkly. So, you know, did you just saying? Not around the edge, but maybe at the points. Yeah, okay, I like that idea. I like that idea. Yeah, well, we're dry enough there to be able just to go for it. So let's rev up Tindra then. I need to make sure my brush is really clean for this though. Obviously, because it's got no pigment in it, it's easily contaminated. I was going to say, that looks like Elsa. It is Elsa. My paints are the wrong way round. This is Tindra. See, I even know my paints without looking at them. I always think Tindra in the pan just looks like snow though. Like it literally does just look like snow. So we'll give it a rub. I was talking about the malleability of paints, and this is one that's much harder. Like, you need quite a lot of water to get this one going compared to some of the other ones. And obviously, it's just the genetic makeup of it, because this is mostly binders and sparkle. There's no pigment in there to move about quite so much. Well, there is, but I'm not going to split hairs. Not noticeable pigment. It's just all sparkle and no trousers. Yes, middle doesn't sparkle. Okay. Yeah, we're just giving it a wee massage here, but you know when it's good to go because you can visibly see it like picking up on the end of your brush, like you can see it there. So we're kind of getting there. It does need a wee bit more water on it though. There we go. Oh, we're jamming now. Give it a tickle. Right, so let's see. The other thing as well is in terms of making videos, um it's not ideal because it takes a wee while to dry and show up, but let's have it like emanating. There's a good word for a Friday night. Emanating. To be fair, I think we're almost at the point of sparkle overload here, guys. We've basically got sparkle everywhere, haven't we? Do you know what? Not mad about that either. Yes. Okay. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to call it quits. No such thing. No such thing. No, you can. You can ruin a picture. Like I think you can cheapen, especially if it's quite a realistic artwork. I think you can cheapen it by having too much sparkle or too much glitter. Very much less is more in that sense. But when you're doing something like this and we're just having a bit of fun, come on. So if I just start tipping this now, if you look at the hollow paints, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. It doesn't seem to be showing up on the camera very well. Like at this angle, you can just see that this goes from like green to like a turquoisey blue color. There's like really awkward angles to show you where you can't actually see them. But yeah, they're like they're super cool, these paints, they really are. And obviously Nat's sparkling away in the background there, big style, no problems there. And Tindra's just starting to come through a tiny little bit. Ooh. Yeah, I should use my phone, you're right, Katara. I don't know how much, see, because I've got like quite a lot of light sources, I don't know how well that'll work, but let's try it. Let's do it. Do it, do it, do it. Yeah, see, it's just kind of like washing them out rather than actually showing you. Yeah, that's not really helping much. You can see Tindra sparkling away there in the middle though now, look. Oh, it's so cute. All the sparkles, guys, all the sparkles. Okay. Well, that was fun for just a little jolly, wasn't it? I'm just going to grab a writing implement that's not a paintbrush. Just a biro. I'm trying hard to remember to put dates in my sketchbook so that I know roughly when I've done stuff. So let's just pop that in there. The 15th of the 11th. Can't believe it's the middle of November already. But yeah, that was good wee funsies for a couple hours of just messing about. But you can see, I mean, obviously it's not this tremendous work of art, but when you saw this like 10 minutes in versus where we are now, this is why it's really important to trust the process and build up some layers, take your time, and you can get away from that, oh dear Lord, a 3-year-old's just slapped some paint on the paper. I would love to spend like another 4 or 5 hours refining this, especially the bonfire part. But the aim of the game today was to just chill out at the end of the week and play with art stuff because, well, that's kind of what we do here, isn't it? So, but yeah, just so good, so good, so nice. So I want to thank you all very much for joining me. It's nice to hang out on a Friday night. I am absolutely ravenous. I will allow chat about food now. I am going to shut up shop here in the cave and I'm going to go and get something to eat. Oh, Susan's got no heat in her hot water. It's to be really cold next week as well, Susan. I hope you can get that fixed soon or else it's going to be miserable. Yeah, so in terms of videos, guys, honestly, I barely got 2 minutes to like breathe in the opposite direction. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to finish off the video, which was the second rediscovering the cave video with the drawing inks. That's like half filmed. I'm trying to get that finished and get that out. And I also want to put out a video with the next part of the Kirby shoe store pages that we were working on. That's kind of my plan, but I can't really give you a time scale on that just now. Obviously, there's just been a lot going on this week, but I will get to them as soon as possible. There will be no live stream on Wednesday next week because Pip is in for surgery, and normal pickup time would be slap bang in the middle of when we would be streaming. So I might do a weekend stream instead. Again, though, we might do something like this again to make up for it. But I can't promise videos right now. But they are there. They're like festering away. They're in the works, and I'll get them out as soon as I can. I love all the sparkle. Yeah, I should have just called this the sparkle stream. But there we go. We'll maybe get to do a bit of scrapbooking next time. So all that's left to say is, can we have a round of other hands, please, for our mods for Thea and Green Hat? Get all your other hands in the chat, and I'll include myself in that. Woo! suppose start off the other hand wave. Speaking of others, let's check on Mildred, see how she's doing too. Oh, Mildred. For those of you that weren't in the start of the stream, we did some cow surgery. Mildred fell to pieces again. She'd lost 3 of her teats off her udder, and she seems to be holding pretty well. So we'll just we'll leave her overnight to do her thing, and that means that we're officially ready to be festive because Mildred's back in one piece. Bless her. I'll be really gentle setting her down. All the other hands. Yes, Green Hat and Thea, you always turn up, you always show up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I do think you've got really easy jobs as mods in this stream, but that's completely beside the point. It's the fact that you take time out your day to come and be here. Right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will keep you updated through the landing page for the YouTube channel, but also in the socials as well, and let you know what's happening and what we will be doing in other arty stuff. So we'll speak to you all later. Bye bye for now.